Welcome back, everyone, to Pineleaf Archery Club. And today we'll first have a look at what's changed since the last episode. First off, all the birch that was over here has been chopped down. And you remember how last time I said I was going to go down there in order to pick up some spruce? I, of course, did that, but that's a bit of a long job. And I decided that, listen, this is Pineleaf Archery Club, so therefore I should bring some spruces over to here. So I replaced the birches with spruces. Now I may find a better way of arranging them and all that stuff, but I needed a few extras there for various wood projects later on, so therefore it doesn't matter if it's unorganized a little bit for the time being. But that'll be my principal tree that I will be probably using. And I also decided to change my target. Before I was having this cobble target with the redstone cap, and I decided, look, if this is Pineleaf Archery Club, why not just have a giant spruce right for each of our 18 holes? Now that will be a bit of a problem when I do the underground holes, of course. So I'll probably just have to make a big spruce log pillar for that. But above ground, I was thinking a spruce tree, a double spruce tree would be perfect. And unlike the smaller spruce trees where the limbs go pretty low sometimes, for example, that one's almost touching the ground and this one's only 3 up. In this case, it's nice and high so that we have a nice visible target that we can go, so we won't have to worry about hitting the leaves or anything like that. I also extended the back wall here. Now I am going to have to decorate this, of course. That's going to be the most important thing to do at some point. And this is going to be done with the banner, so I'm going to have some nice banners that I'm going to put all along it, including the whole number and things such as that. But I'm going to have to make a design for a banner that will work with this. Make a banner design, probably also one with the whole with numbers on it, and perhaps that will work. But that will, of course, take me a little time of doing. Now, I am, of course, going to need a few more sheep pens, so I've put one here. I haven't decided yet what color wool I want to be raising here, so I'm leaving the sheep the color that it was when I found it. I don't know how that sheep escaped, probably when I was leaving or something like that. Or probably let a couple of sheep leave here and then lead them off to the other pen. Okay, well, when you want a couple of them to escape, they just don't go off. Alright, well, I think this will do. So that I can at least start breeding some. Now let me get this. Oops. Hello. Hey, come to your new house. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a shallow pen, so it's not the perfect situation. I want to decide on the color before I start breeding them. There isn't so much room here, and of course, the longer I take to breed, if I have a full pen, then I'll have to use up my dye in order to dye more sheep then. So let me think of a color. Now, perhaps I can get, would a reddish dye fit? But I am going to need a greenish dye. That means greenish dye. Makes me wish for my Pine Ridge world where I had all that wonderful cactus I could find. Let's see. Yeah, I am going to have to go out and explore. I have not really done all that much exploring. I ran into this area relatively early, so therefore I've not done much exploring of the world, and I think I really should do that in order to find out what I've got, because I am going to need, probably red and green dye are going to be my colors for the course, and just base the whole thing off of that matter. Getting red dye is easy. One of the sources for that, of course, is beetroot. And speaking of beetroot, I did eventually look up the recipe. I was wondering, well, I didn't have a bowl? What was going on in this? Because I thought maybe a bowl and 4 beets or anything like that would be simple. No, it's bowl and 6 beets. And unfortunately, like mushroom soup, beet soup requires you to have, doesn't stack or anything like that. So it's pretty inconvenient to lug around. And unlike mushroom soup, where you could combine it without the aid of a workbench, you're going to need a workbench to do this. So beetroot is not the most easily worked meal to go around. But of course, I do have all of these 2 full stacks of pumpkin pies here, plus 46 here. So that, of course, is going to be my primary source of food. Now, I could maybe just eat beetroots raw. From what I hear, they are something like half of whatever those things are. Half a bubble, or what do you want to call? Easy thing called the hearts there, but what you call these drumsticks, I guess. Okay, half a drumstick. That sounds like a good way of calling it. So fills half a drumstick, and if you get 3 drumsticks from that, I'm sure saturation is going to be different or anything like that, because otherwise there'd be no advantage to going along making the soup. But before I test how much you get out of eating beetroot, there we go. There we go. There we go. Before I go around seeing how much I obviously need to get my hunger down a little bit. Ooh, eggs all over the place. And besides, right now I am just so set up for pumpkin pies. It really isn't beetroot. The only reason why I'm doing the whole thing with beetroots is maybe in a later world I'll be in a situation where beetroots will be essential, because that's the only thing I find or anything like that. And know what you can do with them. Learn them when it's not a dire emergency in order to have them. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's see. Okay, here's some beetroots, so I want to see how much it fills up. It might help if I actually finish eating it. Hard to tell there, but yeah. So yeah, it can be eaten straight if you want. So if all you're worried about is a little something to keep you from starving, then yeah, you could just live off of beetroots and not worry about the soup. All right. So that's what changed over at my hole, at the target in there. And let's see. And that's what happened with my research on beetroot. So what is happening over here? Now, first off, concerning this hole here, I did fence it off so that I won't go. So I was afraid that if I was running from here, when you collect some spruce and the drink, and forgetting that there's this ravine right here. Now that's what I call a safety hazard. All right, so now this is opened up for a window. Oh yes, glass. That's something I have not yet really gotten around. Right? Do I have any glass? I don't think I have any glass at all. Oh. Well, so much of that hypothesis, right? So I do have some glass. And put these bowls in here because I don't need... Oh, I put the soup in there. We really meant to put the bowl in there. I want to do something about my inventory. That is very much the case. How about... Where did I put my maps? as if map number 1. Well, okay, that's map number 1. All right, let's see, what do I have in this map? Yeah, okay, that's where I'm at. That's where the clubhouse is. There's a little thing for the hole. Yeah, I really need to enlarge things a little bit. But that will be for another day. Now, if I do go exploring, I would... Yeah, if I'm going to do an exploration episode, maybe I could do that next week. We could explore, find out what we can do, and see if I could find something to do for banners. That would make a reasonable show for next time. Let's see, where are we? Oh, what? I was thinking, though, this is the penultimate episode, oh, no, next episode is the penultimate episode for this season. That's right. There are 2 more shows after this. And then we all decide the whole thing. Okay. What gets renewed, what gets not. Now, I'm hoping to renew this because I do want to... Next season, I'm planning on building 2 more holes. Because I spent quite a bit of time working on this hole here. But what I really need to do right now is to get back to the clubhouse and put in these windows and do a little work there, because I would like to have significant work on this before the end of the season. Now this, I was thinking about the old stair step methodology for handling these. I'm wondering how much that'll work. I had tried using oak stairs there, but that did not work at all. It just, yeah, maybe if I use spruce there, it won't give any contrast from color or texture, but maybe it'll make it look a little bit better, because there is just absolutely no... I forgot about that. Okay. Yeah, I got pretty much a stack of them in there too. All right. Let's see. So let me throw the oak stuff in there and the birch stuff in there. Let's get some spruce here. All right. I'm not in the mood to get a full stack of that yet. And I want to get some stairs. And okay, good. Okay, perfect. Well, maybe not perfect. We'll see how this looks. The trouble is that if this is... I didn't want that. I wanted spruce on the bottom layer, and when I tried putting oak down here, it just looked so wrong that I just had to take it out again. But what if I take this out and do it this way? And the whole thing with the stairs, I think it's as far as I know, it's an old Minecraft trick. I usually see it being done by Wells Knight. Wells Knight really likes using steps for things like this, and I think he's better at placing them, and I think it has to go up at the top. All right, there we go. Yeah, well, all right, good, and good. Good, and now put in these windows that at the beginning of the episode I didn't realize I had, but I only have a small amount of it. If you saw right there, this is my entire inventory of glass panes. I had a couple of stray pieces of glass on top of that. All right, good. Actually, not too bad. Could be better. Yeah, if this were a larger building, then I could have had a layer of spruce. Then I could have used some oak, I think, as a trim for it. Unfortunately, Minecraft is not exactly known for its ability to allow you to have good trim. Good. Now, I will have one here. I'll have a couple of small ones here. The idea is I don't want too much in the way of glass around here, because as I said last week, we've got people firing bows and shooting arrows with their bows, and they're not exactly the best things to have around if you have fragile objects, especially in the direction in which you are firing said weapons. Yeah. I think I could really use the workbench on that side. Or actually, let me, first off, we've got this now finally ready to be eaten. Okay, see? Yeah, it fills up all 3 bars. Alright, map number 1, and we want... Oh, yes. Let's just make a full stack of these stairs. Well, okay, it's not a full stack, but it's... Did them all at once. So now let's head back out here, take care of the stairs. We do not need that empty bowl in our hot bar anymore. And there we go. And of course we have a very odd one left, which is not the best number of something to have left. But that gives the idea of what I'm planning to do with the windows. And I could do that without too much trouble. Let's see. Put this here. Put this here. Actually, keep this because I want to take that back to my other room. Anything else I can use here? Probably not. Alright, good. Yeah, I think that'll do. Put another one on this end. Now this will give a nice view of the other wing of the clubhouse. Now the trouble is what to do around the rest of the side, because I think it'll look really boring if there were no windows here, but I can't put windows so that they are easily shot. Now if it were possible to do a thin wall, I think I would just put some walls here, sort of some partitions to separate things. And I am going to do that, not out of spruce though. Probably another material, and see what I can do. So I have a few more windows on here, but just to protect them so that if you're standing here shooting an arrow, you're not going to hit the windows. But you need to have light inside of here. And unfortunately, this is not a build that is... Maybe I could do it with the ceiling. That's a thought. Have the roof opened up in such a way that we have light streaming in that way. That might work. I know it might not either. Now on this side though, we could do plenty of ones. People aren't going to be shooting arrows inside of here, so therefore that's what we're going to do. So I can window away down on this end. Let's see, like this. And what do we have here? Ooh. Now let's see, we got 1, 2, space, 1, 2, space, 1. No, that's not what we want. Alright, so well, what I'll do is I'll just create the one on this end. And do the same thing here. And come out like that. Alright, that. If I could put it up in the right direction. Good. Next. Up. There. Alright, good. Now we've got one there, one there, and there are 3 there. Okay, I think that will do on the matter. Now this, actually, first I have to decide what I'm going to do for the various parts before I make that final. Because you come in here and you have a bit of a foyer. And I want the shop here, and then we'll want the restaurant over here. Yeah, so I would want 3 here. What would I want the walls to be made of? Because we've got spruce here. We've got, this is oak. That looks like it's oak. Then we'll want the walls to be made of spruce. Probably decorate the walls with something so that these, or not spruce, I mean birch, and then maybe things won't look too bad in that case. So I think we need a little bit of contrast, and let's face it, when compared to what I got there currently, birch is certainly contrast. But it looks like we are out of time for this episode, so I'll see you next time, where I am hoping to have a chance to do some exploration as we continue in our building of Pineleaf Archery Club.